episode 2 of the Rawn podcast, Tarot and Tattoos. I've been practicing that.
You have been, yes.
It was a mouthful last time. For sure. So what's been going on since the last time we spoke? I think we have the Friday the 13th.
Yes, we have Friday the 13th coming up this Friday. We will be holding our event. We're doing a little later this time, so normally we would do like 12 to 8. This week we're doing it 4 until whenever people stop showing up. We are at 242 Broad Street in Keyport, New Jersey at Taboo Tattoo.
Taboo Tattoo. Come see us on Friday the 13th to get a tattoo. I will also be making an appearance for people to come, like, put a face to the name. So come hang out. It's a super chill vibe. Even if you don't want to get tattooed, but you should. You need another tattoo. Or you need your first tattoo.
Right. And it's only $40. That's half the shop minimum.
So it's $31 with a $9 tip,
with a $9 tip,
Okay.
yeah.
Split it a little bit. Pretend like we like each other.
There
we go.
We have almost 100 designs on the flashboard.
Wow,
so,
almost 100. What are your like top 1 or 2 favorite designs on the flashboard? That
anything that's frogs.
Anything that's frogs.
There's some
Nothing
frogs
says
on there.
Christmas like a frog. You
There's
know what I mean?
actually a frog with a little Santa hat.
A frog with a Santa hat. Oh, I kind of need that. I was thinking about a cheek tattoo. That might be a good.
You can do a snowflake.
A snowflake.
Everyone will think you're delivering snow.
Oh, that's what they're going to think for sure.
Yeah.
I'm here to shovel snow.
Yep.
Okay, so today we're going to interview Rawn. We're going to talk about her experience with tattooing and a little bit about being an artist. So I'm so glad that you guys are here today. Be sure to follow her at Storybook Tattoos. Storybook Tattoos. I will also tag her in this after we post it and check out her amazing art. So let's just jump right into it. Tell me about your first introduction to tattoos. This could have been like a memory of seeing someone with a tattoo, or like what comes to mind?
My mom had tattoos. Probably the one I remember most is this butterfly she had on her hand.
Okay.
It was she said it was a matching tattoo with one of her friends.
Did you ever see the tattoos together?
No.
Oh, okay.
My mom was not good at keeping friends, so
it was a mystery.
Right, I have no idea who the other butterfly
holder
was, but
if the other butterfly holder sees this video, send us a picture. We want to see it.
Yep. Yeah, so that just her having tattoos, her being into tattoos, eventually, me seeing her get some.
Okay.
And then definitely, like, on TV, I remember when I was younger watching Kat Von D and being like...
Oh, yeah, wow.
She's
I haven't heard that in a while.
She has hairless cats and a Bentley.
Hairless cats and a Bentley is kind of like the prestigious...
Right.
Like, that's how you know you've made it. Especially like the hairless cat, because I feel like those are expensive to keep.
They are expensive to keep. They're time-consuming
and expensive to get. Like, the original purchase, I think, is up there.
Right.
Like, it's not... You're not adopting a hairless cat.
Right, no. They need, like, a bath every other day or something.
Every other day? I don't even want to give myself a bath every other day. That sounds awful. Wow. Greasy cats. So good. Tell me a little bit about what you remember, especially in your earlier memories. What was the stigma that you perceived around tattoos? Whether you agreed with it or not, but what do you think was the perceived stigma around tattoos?
So funnily enough, my father was, like, anti-tattoo.
Oh, okay.
He never got any tattoos. So to me, it was like this double-edged sword of like, my mom has tattoos and she likes them, but my dad is like, it's a sin. He was quite religious.
That's extreme. Yeah. Yes, okay.
As I got older and actually started tattooing, he was considering getting one, but anyway, like, so I had this perception that, it was associated with like maybe negative personalities.
Okay,
not
for
so
sure.
much as positive ones, but like, as I grew and got older, I was like, it's just another art form.
Just another art form. I love that.
Yes.
So do you feel like you actually, in your own way, had to kind of like navigate out of that stigma of like this actually isn't like a negative thing? That's the stereotype.
For sure, yeah. Because like, growing up, I, even like seeing strangers on the street, if they were like covered in tattoos, I was probably a little bit more wary.
Yeah, leery, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know any fun facts about tattoos?
Fun facts?
Or history about tattoos?
Unfortunately, not a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bad at anything art history.
No, that's okay. That was a pop quiz.
But I mean, like, some like basic things that I feel like people should know about tattoos going into getting them is that over time, you know, the tattoos kind of like spread under the skin. So sometimes, you know, getting those little tiny itty bitty things don't work as well as like bigger, bolder designs.
Okay.
Know? So like, consider what you're getting, you know, because like when you get something that's itty bitty, it's probably, you know, by 20 years later it might not be, you know, what it looked like, and it you know, it depends on the you know, the artist and everything too, because if you're, you know, going too deep or anything, it's gonna just kind of blow out anyway.
Okay, gotcha.
But, yeah.
What would you recommend as far as like where to get a tattoo that will have like the most longevity, like the tattoo will look the best for the longest amount of time?
I think like forearms, you know, anywhere where the skin is like tight and like isn't prone to like sagging or anything.
So like not like, face, neck, and boobs.
Right. Anything that like has more stretch to it. You know?
So like calves, forearms.
Well, but like I'm thinking like this part of my arm. What's this? My like
bicep.
Where it's like really stretchy. I feel like they don't like hold as well.
Oh,
like,
okay. So you're saying tight.
Softer,
okay, so like the forearm usually stays pretty
better.
firm. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Forearm tattoos is a good place to get like that really intricate piece because it will last longer. So tell me the first time you considered tattooing as a career, knowing that my follow-up question is going to be, tell me about your early art forms that led up to that.
Yeah, so my first time considering it as a career was I went to Jean's tattoo shop in Long Branch with my mom, and she was getting a tattoo with mine and my brother's name in it right before she was having like a major back surgery. And all I remember about the girl doing it was that she had this like bright yellow eyeshadow. And after we got done, like that's all my mom could talk about was like how ridiculous it looked. Like
that's what she's worried about.
The tattoo was beautiful. Like of course, you know, but like my mom couldn't, you know, talk about anything except for this girl's yellow eyeshadow.
Was it like neon?
It was like mustard yellow.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
It was great. I loved it, and I thought it was so cool that she could dress like that and show up to work. And
hell yeah!
It was like, that would be, you know, like just the environment itself was like so colorful and like
it is more vibrant for sure.
Right. It was just a fun experience to like go in there and see, you know, this is literally what you're doing. You're drawing on people all day, you know.
So your thought process is almost maybe more about like the environment you would be in as opposed to what you're actually doing?
I think like both, you know,
okay.
50-50. Like it's so cool that you're just sitting there and drawing, you know, for the whole day. You're making artwork, but also like it's a fun environment that you get to work in.
Do we have viewers? No viewers right now. Okay. We had a couple. I saw them trickle on and off. Okay, cool. Okay. Tell me about like early Lawn as an artist. So when you think about what you maybe were like first passionate about as far as like a medium that you were really drawn to, or something that you were drawing over and over. Like, tell me about early artists.
Cats.
Yes, that checks. Actually, that checks.
Yeah, I used to draw them. Actually, they'd look like bunny rabbits. They would just had like two big lumps
ears. Yes,
for ears. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing, and like Crayola crayons.
Nice.
You know,
okay,
like that.
For sure.
That was my introduction. My dad was an artist, so I always, you know, I aspired to be like him in that way. You know? So he did a lot of like portrait work and stuff, and as I grew, like that's kind of like what I've grown, you know, to really love drawing. As far as tattooing, it's still scary to me to tattoo a, you know,
What's your
face,
current favorite medium of art outside of tattooing?
So it's like a toss-up. If I want to do color, watercolor. I love watercolor, and I'll normally like do some kind of mixed media with that. So like I'll do watercolor and colored pencil, or watercolor and then like acrylic paint for like you know, finer details. And then, you know, if I feel like drawing a face or anything, you know, I love graphite, just pencil and a smudge stick. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what would you say, rolling over into tattoos, but with that same, like, category in mind? Like, what's your current favorite, like, tattoo style? And then, as far as like right now, like currently, like what's your favorite thing to do?
I love anything that's like bold and colorful,
Nice.
you know, so, and I like, you know, let me get as many colors on the palette as possible.
Oh, I love that, okay.
Overcook it a little
That's
bit.
gonna be my third tattoo.
Yes,
Just gonna be a ridiculous,
rainbow, you know, like, it doesn't have to be rainbow, but I like
all the colors.
I like contrast in
Okay.
anything that I do, so, you know, if someone wants something blue, I want to do an orange background, you know, so it's anything to balance things out. I really enjoy doing, but I'm looking into doing more that
was gonna be my next question is where do you want to like grow into as far as like art practice?
Neo-traditional stuff I want to start getting into, so that's pretty much it's like a traditional thick outline, thinner lines within the piece for like the finer details, and like complex shading. So whereas in a traditional tattoo you have like black and red and, you know, like they blend together.
Okay.
But in like neo-traditional you might use like a few different hues of the same color, you know.
Oh,
so
to really like make it green.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And I've been looking at this style for a long time, and like, I don't know, there's just something like whimsical and magical about it.
Maybe episode 3 will be me getting a tattoo of
that.
that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I'm working on right now a cat with a skull.
Yeah, whatever you're working on, I'll take it. You didn't even have to tell me. We're like, yep, I'll take that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let us know if you want that to be episode 3. Oh, Taboo Tattoo is watching. Yay!
Hi.
We're here at your shop, so that's convenient that you're watching. I love this for us, for sure. If you want to, I don't know, can you put a photo in the comments? Or say if Taboo Tattoo wants to put the Friday the 13th flyer in the comments. I don't know if they can do that.
I don't know if Instagram's so funky.
Keep an eye out on our story. I'll definitely post our story, and I'll make a reel about it. Come this Friday, come get the Friday the 13th tattoo. $31 with a $9 tip. And almost 100 designs.
Yeah,
that's very cool. It's exciting. And I'll be here to say hi and wreak havoc amongst the people, so that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Alright, so tell me, when did you get your first tattoo?
I got my first tattoo when I was 14 years old.
Wow, that was not legal.
No, it wasn't. No.
Did you go to a shop?
I did go to a shop.
Okay.
I won't name them for
that's
purposes. Cool. And, you know, I doubt it's someone that I'm related to through marriage, so it was like...
Okay, so like you knew the guy, yeah.
Right,
sure.
My mom knew him, she was on board with it, and I got a little Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon
I love Pink Floyd, very
logo,
cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience getting that first tattoo.
It was very nerve-wracking. I thought it was going to be a lot more painful than it was. Yeah, and like the whole ride there, my mom's just like, bzzz, you know, like making buzzing noises at me, trying to scare me. But it, you know, once I felt it, I was like, oh, this is absolutely nothing.
Okay, so it's like a relief.
Right,
feel.
Absolutely. And then afterwards, I just thought I was like, the coolest kid.
You are the coolest kid. Right, that checks,
for
sure.
Gym class, you know, I'm like rolling my shorts so that you can see this tiny little tattoo on my thigh.
I love that.
Yeah, everyone has to see it, and
that's
everyone's
like,
is that real? I'm like, yeah, it's real.
That's like how you pull status in prison, where you get like like a prison tattoo, but in high school it's your Pink Floyd tattoo popping out.
Right.
Yeah. So are you a big like Pink Floyd fan, or was it more like because of the pop art culture around it?
I love Pink Floyd. Is my absolute favorite band.
That is also my absolute favorite band.
Next to the Doors.
Okay.
My
favorite. Go ahead.
Yeah, Pink Floyd. We were living in a welfare motel when I was like 10 years old. And this guy got kicked out, and my mom, being the scavenger we cleaned out his room.
I love that. Yeah.
And he had Pink Floyd The Wall on CD. So. And, you know, everyone else had iPads. I had a CD player, which I was
love that, yeah.
So on the bus ride, you know, to and from school, I just listened to Pink Floyd The Wall on repeat that whole year, and I loved it. And then I found out there were music videos and, like, a whole movie that goes with it. So, yeah, that's
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a cool introduction. My favorite's always been Wish You Were Here, but I can't remember where that album, like, totally came into, like, my field of view. But to this day, like, especially people that go way back to, like, Randy's timeline, it's like, what's my song? And it's Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. That song specifically, but then that album. Yeah. From beginning to end, from Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 1 to, and then I forget what the next one is, and then Have a Cigar, and then...
Have a Cigar is one of my
It ends on Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 2, so to listen to that whole album in its entirety is an experience. Yeah. It's an experience. Yep. Okay, when did you do your first tattoo? Like, when did you give your first tattoo? Well, you're 14 when you got one. Right. Were you 15 when you gave one?
No. So I'll tell the attempt at my first tattoo. Okay. My brother James made some prison-style tattoo machine out of a VCR motor. Okay. So, just this little spinning mechanism inside the VCR motor that he got out of the trash.
That's impressive, honestly.
And we sit my stepbrother down, and I tried tattooing him. Well, fortunately for him, the machine was not strong enough to pierce his skin, so I stabbed him a little bit. But it was not, it wasn't as successful. And that was, I don't even know how old I was. I was probably around the same age, 14, 15 years old.
Do you think it was before you got a tattoo or after?
It was right around the same
the same timeline. That's interesting.
I'm not sure if it was before or after, but I was living in the same house, and that's kind of how I, like,
the timeline remembers,
yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, Ian did not get a tattoo that day. He just got stabbed for science.
Yeah, for science.
But then when I was 18... I went to a flea market and got a machine.
That checks.
Right.
It's very New Jersey of you. You bought it at the flea market,
right, and tattooed my mom. She was my first actual guinea pig. And on that little butterfly that I mentioned earlier, she was like, just touch this up for me. Oh. It went very poorly. I had no idea, about the depth of the needle, how to get the ink to come out of the machine. I think that was the biggest thing for me, because, like, I think I had the yes, that's all I did. I just scabbed up this butterfly. I had the needle out way too far, so the ink wasn't flowing out of the cartridge. It was just hanging up in there, and I was stabbing her over and over again. And then I tattooed my then boyfriend at the time, and that one was successful. He did have a little bit of scarring in the center of it, but by tattoo number 2, I was starting to get the
understand a little trial and error.
Yeah. So and then after that, I did go through the whole, like, apprenticeship and everything. Did my 2,000 hours and learned the right way.
Yeah. I mean, is there another is the right way? I was gonna say, is there a right way? There is.
Right way,
especially when you're piercing people's skin.
Right. Learn from someone who knows what they're doing. And from their
had a mentor
too. So after that it was, friends and family let me start practicing on them. And eventually got to where I am now, and we're like almost 10 years into it now.
10 years into it, that's cool, for sure. Well, you can come this Friday the 13th and get a tattoo from Lawn. Help her grow to her 10th year. When you think about the process of tattooing, from, like, inception, like, just an idea in someone's head, to, like, fully healed, so, like, the whole spectrum of the tattoo, what is your favorite part of the process?
My favorite part, whether it's in the designing process itself or while I'm doing the tattoo, is taking a moment, stepping away, coming back to it with a fresh set of eyes. So, like, I think that's so important to me, because I can get, like, very caught up in, I can spend hours trying to perfect just one spot, especially in the design process. I'm like, I'll sit there and just keep redrawing the same thing, and I find that the best thing for me to do is take a step back, come back to it, and normally by then I'm like, oh shit, like, this is starting to look like what I want it to look like, so I think that really helps me and makes the process less painful, because I'll get caught up and I will be like sweating detail, right over a fingernail, a toenail, whatever, and it's like, oh, all right, take your step back, come back to it, give yourself your fresh set of eyes, but also, like, working with clients and being able to bounce ideas off of them. It's so much fun, like, kind of playing Frankenstein with like, I want this concept, but in this style or whatever, and
so making it like a
making,
unique,
making my own piece out of things, because there's plenty of times where it's like, I want this exact copy paste sort of, and no artistic freedom. But when there's artistic freedom and a little trust, it makes it that much better.
For sure, I feel like it's gotta be a much more intimate experience. Like I know some of my tattoos. I'm trying to think. I feel like almost everything I have, even the ones that Lana's done, were unique at least in like some way. But I always feel like the most connected to a piece when it was like from inception. You know what I mean? Like we worked on something together, like through to the very end. So that's very cool. Okay, how are we doing out there in Instagram land? Hi everyone, if you're watching. We're interviewing Rawn today at Taboo Tattoo, and we're talking about her experience not only as an artist, but as a tattoo artist, and going all the way back to, you said 10 years ago now you're going on tattooing?
Well, I'm 27 now, started dabbling.
Dabbling, you were like 14 though, right?
I mean, I wasn't producing any
When did you start your internship, or was it
my
apprenticeship? Yeah.
I think I was 19 when I officially started my
apprenticeship. Oh, okay, yeah, so you're coming up on 10 years for sure.
Between 18 and 19 was when I started my apprenticeship, and then I had gotten on skin before then through tattooing my mom and a few friends, but when I actually started learning, taking it seriously and everything.
So I feel like after 10 years in the industry, almost 10 years in the industry, you have your own room inside Taboo Tattoo, like you're here almost every day, you're tattooing throughout the week. Like what would you say to someone who also considers themselves a tattoo artist, maybe someone who's even just as seasoned as you or is more seasoned, like what would be like your gift to them?
My gift to them? I don't know, I feel like I'd have more questions for them.
That's a good point, you a student, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a learning experience every single day, every step of the way. You can have done the same style tattoo on the same part of the body a million times, and then with this client something's different.
Different.
It's like through the time and the experience of working with different parts of the body, different textures of skin, like you learn so much, and it's like it's so hard to explain because it's like you don't understand until you're in it and you're doing it. It's like
adapting to a different
adapting
situation.
to how whether sometimes you're like stretching the hell out of someone's skin, and like it's just, it feels like you're still not getting the needle in there. It takes a lot of patience, is I think what that all boils down to. Takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of hours in to feel like you're progressing. It's not an overnight thing. You don't wake up one morning and you're...
So do you think your advice, like when we're someone either just as seasoned or more seasoned than you, would be like to continue to be open to like adapting and learning?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you never stop learning.
You never stop. That's in every area of your life, ever. Just saying.
yeah, absolutely. That applies to everything, but never get to the point where you're like, I know this. You know, like, not that you shouldn't be confident in your ability, but like
open to
there
learning
can always
and adapting,
be a wrench thrown in there, in some way, shape, or form. So being open to things, being honest and communicating with your client, a big thing for me is, getting to the point of like saying to clients like, hey, I don't know if that's gonna work, I don't know if that's gonna look right, like.
But you have like the most educated hypothesis, or I guess educated hypothesis kind of cancels each other out. You have the most accurate hypothesis on something, though, as an artist who's going to say, like, that's actually not great placement for this piece or whatever it is.
Right. So, like, just being open to whatever is going to come your way, being willing to talk to your clients, even if you think it's going to upset them or they might not want to get the piece after all. Like, I'd rather tell someone no than do a tattoo that, like...
they're angry about later.
They're angry about? No, that I'm angry about. No.
Like, I'm not happy with this.
It definitely, it matters how the client feels, but, I'm definitely my own biggest critic. And
as an artist,
I'll sit there and stare at the picture and zoom in a million times and be like, fuck, you know, like,
yeah.
maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Change that toenail for the 5th time.
Right, I should have changed that toenail one more time, I knew it, you know, no. But, yeah, and that's maybe another thing, like, be kind to yourself, understand that it's not that I'm taking my own advice here, but, you know, it's a learning process, and it's difficult, and there's a lot that goes into it that you have to take the time to learn, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like you already kind of answered my next question when you talk about, like, taking the time to learn and being patient, but what would you say to someone that's either considering getting into the tattoo industry or is, like, maybe just starting? Like, what would you say as someone who's now, you know, a decade into the business? Like, what would you say to them?
Definitely find a mentor that not only has the knowledge and the skill set that you want to learn, but has some level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they have morals, because...
the ethical standards,
yes,
for sure.
Ethics, thank you, that's what I was looking for. Someone who is ethical, because I see a lot in this industry, people taking advantage, people just trying to make money. And I think that it's much more important that you're creating artwork that someone is going to be happy with than
just
making the
that
money.
Instant
Right,
money, sure.
right. Money, you know, money makes the world go round. But at the end of the day, like, I want to sleep easy at night knowing, like, I did the best possible job I could have done. And I think it's hugely important that you know, like, get to know the person that you want to mentor under. My biggest advice would be, like, go get a tattoo by them, you know, see how they interact with other people in the shop, see how they interact with their clients. Right, do your homework. And also just keep drawing, you know, and it, like, I feel like so many people want to maybe do tattoos just like so-and-so, you know. It's okay to, like, come up with your own shit and do your own style, and that's something that I'm working on myself right now, is, like, what do I like best? What do I want to do most, you know? Like, trying to find my own little
your flavor of it. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay, for sure. Yeah, it's still, at the end of the day, is an art form, but it sounds like to me you want someone, when they think about an apprenticeship or getting into the industry, or someone who just started, is find the balance between, like, yes, you do have to make money and paying your bills, but also, like, that ethical standard of, like, you want to feel good about what you're doing, and maybe, you know, you lose a couple bucks in the moment, but I feel like also, like, in the long term, like, you build a trust with, like, your community and your customers, and they want to keep coming back to that, you know? Like, I've had tattoo artists where, like, the interaction was so not good that even though the tattoo came out well, I didn't return because, like, I felt like crap about it, or whatever it was that they said or made me feel, or took advantage of me in the moment, whatever that looked like. So I can speak from experience, and I will go back to an artist even if the piece wasn't perfect, but I feel like they're trying their best, but also saw me as a person. Yeah. You know, like, they took the time to, like, understand what I wanted, and maybe it wasn't executed or maybe it was. Sometimes the piece is spot on. Lon does a great job. But I've had artists where I feel like they didn't execute it exactly how I was thinking, but I would go back to them knowing that I was helping them learn, I was learning from it, so it's okay, I think, to just be like, you know, I'm not perfect, but, like, I will be honest with you. Yeah. It goes a long way. Yeah. For sure. What else do you think we didn't ask today that you want to make sure people hear? I don't know. Alright, let's give another shout out to Tabby Tattoo for hosting us here today. Follow Lon at Storybook Tattoos on Instagram. I'll be posting the Friday the 13th flyer, and I think there's some images floating around of the Flash that he created, so I'll be posting that for sure. So we're going to try to start going live every Monday, time to be determined. But that's going to be our go-to, I think, moving forward, and maybe we'll do a live tattoo session one of these. Yes, I think cool. We need to I'll tattoo you, actually. Yeah, that'd be great. And I'll do a tarot reading for you. Actually, that'd be kind of cool. We'll switch it up. Yeah. We'll switch it up. I've done, like, some tiny little tattoos. I used to have, like, a little handheld machine, and me and my girlfriends would just do, like, little hearts and stuff on each other. That's great. I'm overqualified for this position, actually. Right. Like, yeah. You know what you're doing. I totally know what I'm doing, for sure. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate you, sending you so much love and light. We hope to see you next Monday. Do you want to say anything, Lon, while I'm trying to press the end button awkwardly?
No, thank you guys so much, and I hope to see some of you on the 13th.
Yes. You told me this last time. It was something really obvious. The X. Maybe. And now, bye!
Ribbit.